What's going on, y'all? Machiavelli Mills TV. So look, y'all, let's talk a little bit of boxing, right? So recently in the boxing world, Mr. Derek Chisora was victorious against Kubrat Pulev in a split decision victory. And this is the first time that Derek Chisora has won a fight since 2019 against David Price. So I know he was feeling elated. He was feeling like emotional, excited or whatever because, you know, you lose a couple of fights. He lost like 3 fights in a row. You start to wonder if you still got it. If you're still a good fighter, can you still be fighting competitively at a top level? So on and so forth. You start having those emotions about walking away from the game. So I'm glad that he got the victory, right? But after the fight, there were rumors circulating. They were swirling around of a possible Derek Chisora and Deontay Wilder fight, right? And people were wondering what the outcome would be in a fight of that magnitude. Deontay Wilder versus Derek Chisora. How would that fight go? And should that fight be made? Man, listen, no in every single language known to man, no, hell no. Don't do this to Derek Chisora. Please don't. Derek Chisora is a good man, and he deserves much better than this. Because I promise you right now, I really like watching Derek Chisora fight. I admire his heart and will. I think he's a valiant warrior. And I love watching Deontay Wilder fight too. I'll watch him fight. I would watch him fight the goddamn mailman because he's just dangerous. The way his knockout power is set up, it's just like you can't take your eyes off the screen when you're watching him because you know at any snap, a dude can be out just like that, right? But I'm telling y'all right now, this fight would end in brutal fashion. Brutal fashion. I promise y'all, all of Derek Chisora handlers, keep him away from Deontay Wilder. Seriously, this fight would end in decapitation. I'm telling you right now, if they make that fight, Derek Chisora will be knocked out in vicious fashion, probably reminiscent of when Marquez knocked out Manny Pacquiao. Y'all remember how Manny hit the canvas? It's probably going to be something similar to that, or maybe Dominic Brazil, or maybe worse. Seriously, I'm not going to lie. They would have to call the paramedics immediately. And I'm not trying to make fun of Derek Chisora when I say this. It's just that I believe Deontay Wilder's punching power is just that heavy and strong that it would do some severe damage to Derek Chisora. I'm not going to lie. People watch Deontay Wilder fight Tyson Fury and think that, you know what, Deontay ain't that good. I mean, Tyson Fury got up from his punches, so he can't hit that hard. Bullshit. Think that if you want to. Tyson Fury is just made of a different ilk, right? He's defensively responsible. He got a chin on him. He can get up like that. Other guys, they cannot. And even when Tyson Fury got up, that last fight, he still wasn't right for a while, which is why the other knockdown came so easily because he was still hurt from the first punch from Deontay Wilder, right? He was still hurt from that first punch. Derek Chisora ain't no Tyson Fury, man. I promise y'all the fight will probably be over with inside of 3 rounds. If you lucky, it might go 5. If you lucky. Seriously. Think about the way Derek Chisora fights. If you ever watch Derek Chisora fight, he don't go through a single round without getting hit cleanly by any opponent. Derek Chisora get hit cleanly by any opponent in every round. If you get hit with a single punch from Deontay Wilder cleanly, fam, night. Get out. That's some Ambien in them gloves, and that's some goddamn melatonin. It's over. Derek Chisora get hit too cleanly against everybody. Anybody. Against Deontay Wilder, one of the hardest hitting punchers in boxing history. Got one of the highest knockout ratios in boxing history. No, listen. If Deontay Wilder hit him cleanly, I promise y'all it's gonna be Manny Pacquiao when Manny Pacquiao got knocked out against Marquez, right? And in all reality, Derek Chisora's best days are behind him. His hand speed is slower. His foot speed is slower. He is visibly aging before our eyes. I believe that maybe 5 years ago, this fight would have been more intriguing to watch, and Derek Chisora probably would have had more of a favorable outlook to people. Like, man, Derek probably can hang in there. He could probably win. It would have been more of an optimistic view from my stance of Derek Chisora having a chance to win this fight. At this stage in Derek Chisora's career, no, it ain't no way on God's green earth I see him winning that fight. If Deontay Wilder is the same Deontay Wilder and he's not completely shot from the severe hits and damage that he took in the last couple of fights, If he's still the same Deontay Wilder, even from the last fight, it's good night, Irene. Imagine Deontay hitting Derek Chisora. Imagine Deontay Wilder hitting Derek Chisora with that shot that he hit Tyson Fury with. Derek Chisora is out of there. He is out of there. Like, for real. So I don't believe that sending a man into the ring, sending a man that is slowly declining in the ring with one of the hardest punchers in boxing history, that's not a smart idea to me, right? At times I'm watching Derek fight. Even in the last fight, Derek looked like he be fighting in slow motion sometime, right? So again, just imagine Deontay Wilder striking him with a cannon of a right hand. Even with the added weight on him, like, because Deontay Wilder looked a little bit more lethargic than normal because I feel like he had too much bulk and too much weight on him for this previous fight. I feel like they shouldn't have bulked him up that much. Like, I don't think it was going to do what they thought it was going to do. Even though he did some damage and he hurt Tyson Fury in a fight, I feel like he would have been more agile. He would have been able to get his stuff off a little cleaner and quicker if he was like a little bit mobile or a little bit more mobile with less weight on him, right? When Deontay Wilder is 215, 214, I think that's when he's his most lethal in that type of fight, in that weight range. You know what I mean? So just imagine if Deontay Wilder hit him with the shit he hit Tyson Fury with. I promise y'all, they might have to get the smelling salt out for Dale Boy. They might have to get that smelling salt out. For real. Like, and if his handlers if his people let him get into the ring with Deontay Wilder, all of them need to go to jail expeditiously. They need to be locked up. Lock their ass up. They let them get in the ring with Deontay Wilder. Lock their ass up. The only chance I see Derek Chisora winning that fight is if Deontay Wilder is just an absolute shell of himself and he's shot after those 3 fights with Tyson Fury. But if not, if Deontay Wilder is not shot, it'll be over with as soon as Deontay Wilder hit Derek cleanly. It's done. It's done. And then again, this is all hypothetical because Deontay hasn't came out and said, yes, I'm fighting again. Yes, I'm coming back to compete in the heavyweight division. Yes, I'm coming back for the belts. He hasn't said that verbatim yet, so we don't know what the future holds for Deontay Wilder. But I know Derek Chisora probably still is licking his chops, you know, and still got his juices flowing. Because listen, I say he shouldn't take the fight, but if he did, and somehow, some way he wins, just imagine what that does for Derek Chisora's legacy and how he's viewed after that, right? It gets him a huge payday. He gets, it gets him probably another title shot. You know what I mean? It changes the trajectory of his career. But even if, I don't see Derek Chisora being a champion at this point in his career. No, he don't hold none of the belts. No. But you can still make you some more money, right? But again, I'm thinking about this matchup with Deontay Wilder. Derek Chisora likes to take a few punches to land a few punches. And that is not a game plan that you want with Deontay Wilder. You can't take a few from Deontay Wilder to land a few. It's going to be, I'm telling y'all, it's going to be over with. And people be like, well, Deontay Wilder, his power got to be overrated. It ain't that good. Listen, you don't knock out 41 men and just hit all right and your power is overrated. That's some real knockout shit. You don't knock down that big ass dude, Tyson Fury, 4 times over 3 fights and you got overrated power. That shit is for real. It's for real, man. So people think Deontay Wilder just some pushover because of Tyson Fury. I promise y'all, if Deontay hit majority of the guys in the heavyweight division with that same punch he hit Tyson Fury with in their last fight, it's over with. They not getting up. And if they get up, Deontay clipping them again, and it's over with. It's done for Nito. But Derek Chisora want that big money. You know, him and Deontay Wilder admire each other to an extent, so I wouldn't be surprised if he took the fight. But nah, Derek Chisora better off fighting Luis Ortiz. But we know that's not happening. Machiavelli Mills TV,